Hello, JLR Investigates. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. This case I'm about to tell you about is shocking to the core, and it is still unsolved. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a murderer on the loose in Frederick, Maryland. This case is whoa. We're talking about these two individuals here. 33-year-old Crimea Baker, 34-year-old Sean Lange. And they're a couple. And they just moved into this new, beautiful home in right outside Frederick, Maryland. And early Sunday morning, folks, chaos happened inside their home. Someone or some people went inside their home and murdered both of them in rage in front of their 4 children. This is shocking, and the murderer or murderers are still on the loose. Over 40 shots. It was so chaotic that the 4 kids in the home, 11 years old, 10 years old, 9 years old, and 7 months old, all ran and hid inside the house. And authorities weren't called till hours later, kind of like Dylan Mortensen's situation with Brian Kohlberger. And authorities need your help out there to find out what in the world happened in Frederick, Maryland. Cops all over the place, nice neighborhood, well-established people, it looks like. Working, hard-working people, both are career-oriented. Really haven't seen anything at all on their jackets or records, blemishes. What we do know is he was the father of one of the children, one of the 4. Unclear who the father is to the other 3 children. We're going to talk about that. Police gave a press conference. It's not getting a lot of like YouTube creator type of attention. It's getting a lot of media attention now, but it's not really getting YouTube creators. So me and Magnolia said, we got to talk about this. We got to bring this to the forefront. We got to share what's going on. Now, I'm going to bring Magnolia in the chat to fill in the gaps, but I do want to play a couple clips to get you an understanding. There's a couple journalists that were at the crime scene, the understanding about this. And we're going to talk about the victims, scenarios. I'm going to show you stuff on the map. This is scary, folks. A monster literally went inside these people's home, their sanctuary, their beautiful home, in a newly development in the back of a cul-de-sac, and murdered them in cold blood inside their home while their kids watched.
Tonight, a search for answers in Frederick County. A couple killed inside a home in what the sheriff calls a crime of rage. We're learning 4 children were inside and hid for hours. 7 News' Christian Flores is in the Newmarket neighborhood speaking to neighbors who are understandably shaken up.
Neighbors here are still in disbelief after learning the terrifying details in this double murder. And now they're left wondering about the children who survived but experienced such a traumatic incident.
It's just always been very quiet, very calm, very safe.
But this quiet community rocked by a double murder early Sunday morning, killing 33-year-old Crimea Baker and 34-year-old Sean Lange. Several neighbors told us they were distraught learning the details and did not want to speak on camera because they were scared. But one neighbor who asked to remain anonymous tells 7 News she remembers how she learned about this.
Someone contacted me and asked if I was okay, and I was very curious and concerned. Everybody's just completely horrified and shocked and saddened, too. It's just a very sad situation.
There were 4 children inside the home at the time of the shooting. They were not hurt, but they hid for hours until they felt safe to see what happened.
Clearly, it's a significant trauma and a significant loss to these kids, and their whole world's being turned upside down.
Based on what the children told us, that they hid in the house until morning, until they felt safe to try to figure out what had happened.
Sheriff Chuck Jenkins says he and detectives are also shaken by this crime.
This was really a heinous, targeted double murder, a crime of rage and anger. This is a type of crime that shocks the conscience of everyone in Frederick County.
Jenkins says this was a targeted shooting.
This was clearly a rage killing by an angry and enraged person. There were 42 rounds fired at or into the victims at close range.
Now, social services is working with the 4 children who are top of mind for the community.
I can't imagine what's going through their minds. One of the children discovered his mother, and the gentleman in the bed dead at the time. So I can only say that their life is just destroyed. It's upside down right now.
I'm a therapist and I work with kids, so it breaks my heart to think of the trauma that they must have witnessed and experienced. And my hope is that they all end up in a place where they can get the help that they need.
Sheriff Jenkins reiterated multiple times he does not believe there's any danger to the public. He also says that there are multiple law enforcement agencies working on this investigation. In Frederick County, Maryland, Christian Flores, 7 News.
Now, who would have done this type of thing? He said there's really no public danger. Well, actually there is. If someone is out there and shooting someone and breaking into their house around 1:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, early Sunday morning, and firing 42 shots into 2 innocent people with their children there, I think the public is in danger. Or do they feel like there could be someone that knows them that are involved? No arrests have been made at this time. No suspects have been identified at this time. Actually, there is pretty much lack of information. One press conference. But this is shocking. I mean, this is, again, you're sleeping in your own home and a monster comes in and just destroys your family. These 4 children are left without a mother, and one of them's left out with their biological dad and stepdad. And it seems like they were working, living a life. Who would have done this? Now, I want to show you something else. There is another clip of a journalist that was in back of the house, and I'm going to show you the subdivision. This is the one victim. There's not many pictures on Mr. Lange here. From Arlington, Virginia, originally. Looks like he was in the Army. I was looking up some, trying to find some info on him. Crimea has a Facebook page, so I'll show that to you. But listen to this report right here.
We are also following breaking news in Frederick County, Maryland. In just the last 2 hours, investigators revealed a couple was found dead inside of a Newmarket home after being fired at more than 40 times. This all happened Sunday morning on Mandalong Court. Our Rafael Sanchez Cruz is there live. And Rafa, we know children were also found inside the home, and they were put through hours of just complete terror.
Yeah, Simone, 4 children were inside the home, according to investigators. Luckily, they are safe, but they're calling this a crime of anger and rage. So this double homicide happened around 1:30 Sunday morning, but the sheriff's office didn't arrive here until around 7 in the morning. Why the delay? They said the 4 kids that were inside the home were hiding for over 5.5 hours, and they called 911 when they felt it was safe to come out. We're up on a hill where you can see the backside of the home, and neighbors say investigators spent a lot of time in this backyard. The 2 victims have been identified as 33-year-old Crimea Baker and 34-year-old Sean Lange of Arlington. Both lived in this home and were found dead in their bed. The sheriff's office says Baker is the mother of the 4 children and Lange is the father of one of those children. The oldest is 13, according to authorities. Neighbors say the youngest is a baby, not even a year old. All the children were found unharmed. Investigators say this was not a murder-suicide case. They say both victims were shot at a close range. Sheriff Chuck Jenkins says he's not seen a case like this in Frederick County.
This was really a heinous targeted double murder, a crime of rage and anger. This is a type of crime that shocks the conscience of everyone in Frederick County. There's absolutely no reason, and let me repeat, absolutely no reason to believe that there's any further risk to the public or any threat to the public at large. And I want to assure the public today that we're doing everything we can. We have every available investigator, every agency resource we're going to put into this until the person or persons responsible are identified, arrested, and brought to justice.
Now, Sheriff Jenkins did not want to answer whether there was a break-in before the shooting. He also did not want to comment on where the children are actually staying. Of course, we're talking about minors. Now, he's saying he's looking into all possibilities in this case, including whether it might be drug-related. There's still no description about possible suspects in this case. And I know he mentioned that there's no threat to the community, but I've been speaking to neighbors. They say they have been on edge since Sunday morning because they were trying to figure out what happened. They're talking about a massive crime scene that they woke up to. I'm live in Newmarket. Rafael Sanchez Cruz, WUSA 9.
You can just imagine, Rafa, the fear this community must...
Crimea. She has a Facebook page, and I just want to show you 3 of the children. Give, send, go. There's a give, send, go. Remember, this is a mother that has no criminal record that I've seen. And I believe 3 of the children. Now, that report said one of the children are 13. It looks like, according to the give, send, go, that actually the oldest child was only 11. 11, 10, 9, and a 7-month-old baby. These children witnessed this crime that occurred. This is her. This is the victim. This is her. And this could very well possibly be the 7th-month-old baby. She posted this on June 28th, July, August, September. So July, August, 2 more months. This very well could be the 7-month-old baby. This is bad, folks. Really, really bad. Really, really bad about what happened. Frederick, Maryland. Let's get Magnolia in the chat. Fill us in. We need to talk about this because whoever did this is on the loose. And it just shows again that evil exists. Was it an he said maybe a drug element? I see it's maybe like an ex or somebody. How would somebody have access? Maybe somebody that has access to the house, or someone that, you know, people ask, how did somebody break in? Hello, Magnolia.
Hi there.
All right, Magnolia. This is, I mean, we saw this last night and our jaws just dropped, right?
Yeah, I noticed it because I was on YouTube and I actually saw a news report about it. And this is crazy because I used to live in this exact area for like 14 years. I lived in the Frederick area. And I posted this in the chat a minute ago. Newmarket is such a nice area. It's where you want to live. It was like my dream to have a house there one day. I even looked at houses in Newmarket. It's just a very nice community. It's very safe. All the houses are very nice. So Crimea had actually just bought this house. It was just built this year. It's a brand new house. The street it's on is new. It's called Mandalong Court.
Google Map
and all
has
the houses there are brand new. And she literally just closed on this house on April 2nd.
Let me stay with me. I just want to show people the neighborhood, what we're talking about. So for people on the map, this is what, or for people watching in the chat, we're talking just east of Frederick, Maryland, Frederick County, near New London. And we'll expand it out for people that watch around the world, United States, just to show you where we're talking about. So this is the map of the United States. Here we are. This is the crime scene. So we're going to zero in, and right outside, you know, Baltimore, west of Baltimore, northwest of Washington, D.C., just east of Frederick, Maryland. So we're getting into like an area here that looks like it's a new, and did you say Magnolia Meadows?
No, I didn't mention Meadows, but yeah, now Newmarket, this area of Newmarket is not, the whole area is not new. It's well established. It's just that her particular area that she bought the house in is new construction. So this is all new construction out here.
Yeah, Google Maps.
She bought this house.
Google Maps.
It was just built. It was just finished being built this year. So
doesn't even have the house up. So the house would probably be right about here. That reporter that did the report was up on top of the hill in back of the house. So it's at the back of the cul-de-sac here. This is Mandalong Court. And this is where it comes. So as you can see, most of the homes in the area are new. It's new. It's a new development. They just moved in. What did you say, April?
Yeah, she closed on the house April 2nd.
And let's just go here. It's just show you, just so we can show. Here it is. Like, so it's basically in back of the cul-de-sac here. You know, so whoever did this most likely probably drove in, right? you would think. Maybe park somewhere outside, but they're going to have to go through developments. But here's the thing about it is, I don't know how many other homes are built there. I saw the news report with, houses around there, but do they have ring cameras? I mean, the new homes there have it or not? It looks like in order to get out of that neighborhood, you're either going to you're going to go out, you're actually going to get the Gas House Pike to get out of that neighborhood. It looks like, unless you go this way, and it could take you to Boyers Mill Road.
Is the main, Gas House Pike's the main road.
You know that road?
Yes, I drove that road every day of my life for years. Yeah, it's a gorgeous drive. I mean, it's so pretty out there. They've got Lake Linganore. There's a lot of amenities. It's a great place to raise a family. It's just like, it really hits hard to me because like I just know this area so well. It's sort of like my stomping grounds, and I can't imagine anything like this happening out there. It's just so shocking. And I think we should actually read her the Give Send Go, because it gives a lot of information about her. And just so people know, this is givesendgo.com/keepthekids-together. So this is a campaign, a fundraiser to raise money so that her 4 children can stay together. And it's created by Jennifer Duncan, which she was Crimea's best friend. And she made a video actually that we can show in a little bit of Crimea. So
it raised 61,000 on 100,000 goal so far.
Yeah. So she starts out and says that her best friend and devoted single mother was tragically murdered in her home, and her 4 children were present. She does say that the children are ages 11, 10, 9, and a 7-month-old baby, who Sean was the father of.
Okay, so he was the father of the younger one.
Of the baby, yes. And
Gotcha.
The other 3 were a bit older, so from a former relationship.
Gotcha.
So she's reaching out to the community because she wants to raise money to keep them together. And she says, the number one reason siblings are split up is due to financial burden. As you can imagine, for someone to add 4 children to their family overnight is a daunting task. Statistically, groups of 4 only have a 25 to 30% chance of staying together. Your support is the best chance of keeping the family together. And then she goes on to discuss the different things that the money would go towards.
Therapy, back to school needs, doctors, appointments, food, healthcare, schooling.
Yes. And then further down on the page, if you scroll down more, she says, Crimea has not only been my best friend, but part of my family. She and her children have spent nearly every Thanksgiving and Christmas alongside mine. She was a daughter to my mother and father, and a sister to my sisters and brothers. She was the strongest woman I knew. Crimea was an incredible mother and fought for everything she had against impossibly difficult situations, including escaping a horrifying domestic violence situation.
Bingo.
So,
right there. That is very damaging there on, as far as, she had some sort of incidents in the past, assuming that would probably be an ex, maybe the father to one of her older children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really the biggest clue that we have here as far as what could have happened. But yeah, so she goes on to say that she worked really hard to build her life and create a loving home for her children. She had just signed the mortgage on the house that she was murdered in only 5 months ago. Her friend says, I watched her work relentlessly to make this dream a reality for her children. It all feels so unfair. On top of raising her kids, Crimea dedicated her life to helping children with developmental needs and autism with her program, Children Matter First. She links to the website. So on the website for her organization that she runs, It tells a little bit more about her, and it says that she's the owner of Children Matter First. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology and a certification in children and families. She also holds a master's degree in psychology with a specialization in applied behavior analysis. She has an extensive background working with infants up to 6 years old. She's been practicing applied behavioral analysis for the state of Maryland for the last 5 years.
So she's established.
So she's always, it says she's always cared for the development of children. And so,
that are in the autism spectrum. Like she was helping kids with autism.
Yeah, and she's an accomplished woman. She's an accomplished woman. She had goals. She had dreams, and she had reached many of her goals and dreams. So this is just really, I agree with the friend. It feels extremely unfair that she would work so hard, build this life for herself, and then someone would just do this. This is completely insane.
She works with children. She's established. I've seen zero criminal record on her part. I've seen zero criminal record on Sean's part. Nothing. I mean, some speeding tickets, okay, whatever. Speeding tickets, that's nothing of nothing. Nothing. I mean, these are.
Well, actually, the speeding ticket that you found, I actually think that it's somewhat interesting, just given the fact that it was so recent. It was in March, March 12th, I think it said. And, you know, at that time, they were in the process, or Crimea was in the process of getting this house. She would have probably been going through the closing process at that time. So she was getting ready to close on this house only 2 weeks later. And he got clocked doing like 97.
And a 65.
I forget what the speed zone was. So I do think that that's potentially interesting. If, you know, he had been upset about something, possibly, I don't know, but
running from somebody.
I don't dismiss it offhand. But yeah, I think that was the only thing that we saw from him. Now, if you go on Facebook and you put in Crimea Baker, you'll see what an impact she had on so many people. There's so many.
Here's one from our friend Jennifer Duncan. So Jennifer Duncan posts, "My best friend was tragically taken from this world far too early. She was only 33 and left behind her 4 beautiful children. It's hard to find the words, and I can't believe this is even real most of the time. Crimea, you were courageous, hardworking, and full of laughter. You were an incredible mother who raised resilient, thoughtful, tender-hearted children. I can't wrap my head around continuing the journey of life without you. It was an honor to be your friend. Even as I look through our videos, I noticed how every single one of them is filled with laughter. And rest in peace, my dearest friend. We will be taking good care of your sweet babies and carry on your legacy." And she's posting pictures of the kids, her kids, you know. And the reason why, you know, I've been posting the kids is because they're putting the kids out there. You know what I mean? They're including the kids in the GoFundMe. It's not like they don't want the kids to have privacy, you know, because we were conflicting. We were like, well, should we put the kids out there? But they're actually, you know, putting the kids on the GoFundMe. They're putting the kids in the public post about this act. So I think it's important to get, you know, the kids out there in this situation.
Well,
I don't see no harm to that.
I mean, this isn't like a lot of the cases we see. I mean, we don't see cases like this very often, where the parents are both killed and the kids are alone, especially 4 kids. It brings me back to, I just mentioned her the other day, Breezy Pennington.
Mm-hmm.
She had several young children, and they actually saw her in the bed after the husband shot her. They were the ones.
And we're talking about Aaron Pennington, the case that we went up there in Massachusetts.
The guy that they never found.
They never found him.
And this just reminds me of that because I believe it was actually her son who discovered them. And so all the kids would have discovered them. And according to the police, the kids were so terrified that they hid in the house for 5.5 hours before they ever called police.
And I actually said, that kind of, in that case, kids hiding, it brings me back to Dylan Mortensen, Moscow, Idaho, she saw a crime happening and she didn't, report it. She went and hid. In this particular case, the kids saw what was happening. The kids saw what was happening, and instead of calling authorities or running out of the house, they went and hid inside the house and didn't call authorities.
Yeah, they would have definitely heard the gunshots because the cops said that they recovered 42 rounds. So they would have heard it happening. I'm kind of surprised that neighbors didn't hear anything. I don't.
Well, the homes are pretty.
Neighbors did.
The homes are pretty spread. Let me show you this. There's a couple news outlets that actually have this neighborhood with the home, and here it is. I mean, so this seems like, based off that other report, that home right there is the actual house where the murder is. But you can see it's inundated with police now. But the homes are it's spread out a little bit, right? But 1:30 in the morning, 42 shots, and no one else heard it is kind of strange to me. You would think that even though, around there, they look like they're at the bottom of the hill, gunshot, everything echoes, unless someone had a silencer or something.
Well, I doubt that. I think I would be surprised. Silencers are very common. But, so people have questions in the chat. So, for people that are joining, so this was a targeted attack. So the police said that they were targeted. So that means that this is someone that they knew. It was not random. It was targeted. And we don't know, and also the person, as far as we know, has not been caught yet. So that's really the main information we have on the case. Now, last night, I spent a lot of time digging through a lot of the Facebook comments and posts and things like that. And so far, really the only thing I've seen is condolences. It's just a flood of condolences and memories from all sorts of people, organizations. She was also a track coach for a girls' track team. That was something else. She's a runner. She loved track. That was one of her passions. And so those people are offering condolences. There's like a little league group that posted something. It just goes on. And so I did kind of poke in and I looked around in some of the comments just to see if anyone mentioned anything. But so far I haven't seen any finger pointing. And I think, like I said before, I think the biggest clue that we have here is what her best friend said, that she had escaped a domestic violence situation.
And the sheriff saying the community's not at danger.
Right.
Because if it was a rando doing this, then you got a serial killer, or, you got somebody on the loose, a madman, mad woman, somebody on the loose. But I still think the community isn't in danger because, say, whoever did this knows that police are zeroing in on them, they might do it to someone else or try to hold somebody hostages to avoid detections. For law enforcement to say the community's not in danger, I think is a little reckless in my mind, because at the end of the day, for someone that did this, needs to be taken off the streets ASAP before they could do it again, to themselves or to others.
Yeah, and we kind of got into that whole back and forth thing with the Moscow 4 case, where they initially came out and said that it was targeted and there was no threat, and everyone was like, what are you talking about? You haven't called the person. How is there no threat? But they use that word just to make it clear to the public that this was someone that knew them, and it's personal. Yeah, so 11, that's right. It's this is a personal thing, and that's the way they convey it.
Okay, so name a person of interest, or do they have somebody, they're just not saying it to try to get the person? Brad says the .30 caliber was used. Was that the weapon that was used?
Oh, and also Brad, I forgot, Brad also posted in the chat earlier that that Crimea had like protective orders out. So we may want to look into that.
Oh, so we'll probably have a name if we look in the Frederick County court records, sir, to probably have a name of the person. But, we're not, she might have a protective order, but I'm not saying the person that, is involved. You know what I mean? With that.
Yeah.
And we're not going to,
so there was
until we maybe hear from the police to say, hey, there's a person of interest out there.
Yeah, and I feel pretty certain that they will release more information soon.
But we're day 3 into this. We're 72 hours later, over 72 hours, and nothing.
Yeah, it's interesting because the news reports, and I think even the press conference, were done just yesterday. This information just came out in the news, as far as I know, yesterday. At first, so the very first article that I saw, the news was reporting that there was a double homicide, a man and a woman who were killed in Newmarket, but they didn't. That was really just the extent of it. So I think it wasn't really until like the police came out and did this press conference, and then the news picked it up and went over there. So yeah, this happened basically Monday morning, early Monday morning.
I thought early Sunday morning.
Was it Sunday?
It was Sunday
1:30
morning.
a.m.
It says
a.m.
August 25th, 1:30 a.m. was when the crime occurred. That would be Sunday morning, correct?
Yeah. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. So this is the third day. Yeah, Brad said that the sheriff said it was a .30 caliber in the press conference yesterday.
Matter of fact, that's stay with me, Magnolia. We'll play the press conference. I have it here. Let's listen. We'll listen to the press conference and hear the sheriff. This sheriff spoke for the first time yesterday in a press conference. I never really actually listened to the entire press conference. So, Brad, we're going to listen to it and get everyone up to speed here. Maybe they'll reveal some more stuff we have a lot of questions about. So this was the press conference right here. All right, so it looks like it's like a testing type of deal. Let me see if I can fast forward it just a little bit.
Yeah, just scroll forward a little bit.
Okay, they're coming in.
You guys want to stand over here? There you go. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
PIO.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here today. My name is Katie Robine, spokesperson and public information officer for the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. We are here today to discuss the incident that occurred on Sunday, August 25th at approximately 7 a.m. in the 7000 block of Mandalon Court in Newmarket. Today, you will hear from Sheriff Chuck Jenkins, who will give you an update on this tragic incident and take questions from the media afterwards. Also behind me is Captain Sadat Kaliskan and Lieutenant Robert Deckhutt. And now I'll turn it over to the sheriff.
Thank you, Katie. Good afternoon. I want to start by expressing my sincere condolences to the families of the victims of this tragic incident. Also want to thank the press for your patience in giving us a couple days to pull everything together. The Frederick County Sheriff's Office has identified the victims who were found in the home as Crimea Melita Baker, and I'll spell that for you. First name Crimea, last name Baker, common spelling, 33 of Newmarket. The other male victim was Sean Lange, first name spelling Sean, last name spelling Lange, age 34 of Arlington, Virginia. There were also 4 children found unharmed in the home. When deputies arrived that morning, we will not be releasing their names or identities. So on Sunday morning at 7 a.m., deputies responded to a call for a shooting at the home on Mandalon Court. When they arrived, they found Crimea Baker and Sean Lange deceased, shot to death in the bed. Preliminary investigation indicates that the shooting occurred about 1:30 a.m. So right now, the detectives believe the victims were living together at the time of the shooting. Baker is the mother of all 4 children found inside the home. Mr. Lange is the father of one of the children. Our detectives are now investigating this as a double murder. At this time, there is no indication that this was a random killing, and we don't believe there's any threat to the community at large. This was clearly a rage killing by an angry and enraged person. There were 42 rounds fired at or into the victims at close range. 42 .40 caliber shell casings were recovered in the bedroom.
40 caliber.
We're in the early stages of the investigation. This was really a heinous targeted double murder, a crime of rage and anger. This is a type of crime that shocks the conscience of everyone in Frederick County. There's absolutely no reason, and let me repeat, absolutely no reason to believe that there's any further risk to the public or any threat to the public at large. And I want to assure the public today that we're doing everything we can. We have every available investigator, every agency resource we're going to put into this until the person or persons responsible are identified, arrested, and brought to justice. So I'll now take a few questions.
Do you believe the suspect was known to the victims?
Based on what we know now, I would say yes, most likely, yes.
Any leads or description on who that person might be, man, woman?
No, not at this point. We have not developed any suspects.
Sheriff, is there any chance that this could have been a murder-suicide situation?
Absolutely not. This was absolutely a double homicide, a rage killing. And again, remember what I said, 42 shots fired at or into both individuals.
How are the children doing?
Obviously, I can't imagine what's going through their minds. One of the children discovered his mother and the gentleman in the bed dead at the time. So I can only say that their life is just destroyed. It's upside down right now.
Did one of them call police?
I'm not going to get into the details of the 911 call because that's really relevant close into the investigation. I don't want to disclose anything that could jeopardize it.
Age range for the kids at all?
No, I won't give the age. Well, let me say this, 13 and under, age 13 and under. I won't go that far.
Sheriff, you talked to us about the gap between, obviously, this happened at 1:30, your department responds, later on until 7 o'clock. Where was that delay?
The best we can put together right now, again, based on the conversations with the children, it happened about 1:30 in the morning, and we believe, based on what the children told us, that they hid in the house until morning, until they felt safe to try to figure out what had happened.
Was there any indication of a break-in at the house?
I'm not going to comment to that.
Obviously, the neighborhood, the county's on edge right now. I know you already said there's no threat. Is there anything substantial you can add to say, hey, this is why it is safe, that you don't need to worry? Because every neighbor we talk to is extremely worried.
I know they are, and I understand that. Certainly, they have a right to be. But I will tell you, again, based on the type of killing this was, a rage, crime of passion killing, would lead you to believe, and I won't affirm this, but would lead you to believe that they were known to the killer and they were targeted. And I'll just leave it go at that.
Sheriff, there's a school that's like maybe 20-second drive from the house. Is there any increased presence at that school today?
No increased presence. Our SRO that's assigned to that area, I'm sure, has paid a visit to the school, and I know that mental health people probably are working with the children.
Can you go over the weapons?
The only thing I will tell you is we recovered 42 .40 caliber shell casings.
40.
We don't know whether it was a handgun, carbine type rifle or whatever. We just don't know at this point.
Any words for the suspect if they happen to see our coverage of this today?
I can promise you this, again, like I said, we will put every available investigator, every resource into this, and we will go to no end to find the person or persons responsible and bring them to justice as it should be.
Are you able to disclose if the children are with any other family members or if they're, any county services have been deployed to, help them with this?
I know that the social services, the Child Advocacy Center is involved. They were involved in the interviews of the children, so I'm sure they're keeping close in touch with the families and the kids.
Are you getting help from federal resources or other agencies and possibly trying to track the weapon?
At this point, we are working with other local law enforcement agencies. We don't have the need right now to bring in any federal agencies.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? And again, I want to thank you for your patience. I know this happened 2 days ago, and to give us a couple days to pull everything together so that we don't piecemeal information out, I think the public is better served by that. So thank you all for coming out today.
Where's all the other questions? I have a lot of
That
questions.
concludes our press conference. Any additional information will be sent out to you in a press release.
Has there ever been any
Thank
other
you.
calls to the House before? What about this filing of this, these filings, domestic violence filings that are out there, right, Magnolia?
Yeah, we'll have to look into that more to get more information. Yeah, this is just, I'm kind of amazed that he said they don't have a suspect.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. I mean, maybe they're just playing coy, but by saying they don't, they would better have been better off by saying no comment, because I'm sure
Yeah,
they do.
I
Immediately. What's that show, The First 48?
Mm-hmm.
In this case, he gave a press conference almost 2 days later. You would think within the first 24, you would be able to narrow it down to who you think done this, or eliminate certain people. He's clearly giving signs that, to me, it's like this is somebody that knew her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if there has been some filings, in the past, the authorities would know that, right?
Right. I think they almost certainly have to have someone in mind, but maybe they just don't want to say yet till they do more of the forensics and things like that. Yeah, I find it hard to believe that this person will get away with this for very long.
You don't mess with Maryland. Don't mess with Maryland.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
a
but
video
it's
of
just
her.
horrifying.
I'm just showing a video. I just have it mute, but I'm showing, that must be the 7-month-old baby, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looks like this is, the family, whatever. The way the sheriff said it is as if the boy in the house is the one that found the bodies.
Yes.
So how old's the man? How old's the boy child?
I think 10 years old.
So,
I read that the 10-year-old.
Seems like
the
he said
10-year-old discovered the bodies.
he discovered the body. That's what he said.
Yeah, so I think what happened is that they probably heard the shots and then hid in a closet for, like they said, 5.5 hours, and then he may have been the one who went in there to check.
That's horrible.
Which is
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrifying. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. And they're so young. They're so young to have to go through something like this.
None of them are teenagers yet.
To huddle in a closet for 5.5 hours, like, I just can't imagine.
Here's she does have a Miss CRIM 77. She has a Instagram. She calls herself Mom Boss, Wine Drinker, owner of Children Matter at First, or Children Matter First. And you can see she has lots of photos with her children. Now their children are left without a mother. This is very, very sad,
And the baby doesn't have a father. Now, it's interesting, too, though.
She posted this on June 13th. This looks like the house. In this photo, it looks like the house. She posted this June 13th.
Yeah.
Because it got the same type of siding there. New house celebration.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So now something interesting also, I think that we can sort of infer based on the Give, Send, Go. The point of the Give, Send, Go is to raise enough money so that the children can stay together and they won't be split up. you never hear any mention of the father in any of this, because those 3 kids have a father, right?
Yeah.
So
the youngest was
no
with.
no one's saying like, oh, let's help the father, let's raise money for the father. So either the father is simply not in the picture, the father passed away, or the father is the suspect, right? I think that's what you can kind of piece together with the puzzle pieces that we have so far. I mean, if they had a father in their life who was, you know, a good father to them, the community would be rallying around him, would they not?
Look at this. 35 weeks ago, it looks like she was pregnant, so she was pregnant with the child, right? The youngest. She puts, new beginnings, new beautiful blessings. I'm so grateful for this past year. Reminder again and again, let go of control. Everything happens how it's supposed to. Love and peace cost nothing. December, you have been warm. God bless this beautiful transition. So she posted this in December 26th, the day after Christmas. Or in 2023.
Yeah,
Actually, 2023. So maybe that's the time, maybe she broke away from prior relationship. Maybe was in a new relationship, new opportunities. You see her pregnant at the time.
Well, I think that she's been with Sean probably for at least a year and a half. Because she had to be pregnant for 9 months, plus now the baby's 7 months old. So I think she had been with Sean for some time. Another thing I noticed with her best friend and her were pregnant at the same time last year. So, and her best friend, I believe, has 4 kids of her own. So, and they look all like they're similar in age. And so her kids and her friend's kids are very close. So this is really difficult for her and her family too, because it sounds like Crimea was basically part of their family.
Oh, you know what's even crazy? She posted this in September 2023. This is clearly the house that they bought. Because it's up on the hill. This is the house.
Oh, yeah.
The house isn't built, but what's crazy is they show the boy. And this is probably the boy that found her. Because the sheriff said the boy found them. Oh, that's so sad. So
the 2 older ones are girls. He looks like the 3rd child, and then
so 11, 10, and 9. So at the time, maybe he was 7. Yeah, about 7. Or what? No. I'm sorry. This was a year ago.
Yeah.
September 2023. So this is about a year ago.
Yeah, so that's when she would have done the contracts with the builder and begun the process of construction. And the house was finished this year and they moved in. So
11, 10, and 9 are the children. 11, 10, 9, and then the 7-month-old. So assuming he was 8, this is the boy that found them. So imagine these kids all huddling in a closet or in a room, and 40 shots go off. No pictures of Sean though, which I found interesting. No pictures of Sean.
I went through. Yeah,
but it could be. There could be a reason for that, and I'll explain. Because the reasons why there's not a social media presence on him is he's in the military. And maybe the military, maybe prohibits social media. Or, I'm not saying, I see a lot of people with military, but maybe it's just not that, or maybe he just doesn't like social media.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I did go through all of her Facebook and Instagram, and I was actually trying to look for signs of an ex in some of the pictures, and I saw nothing. I saw no men whatsoever in any of her posts, either on Facebook or Instagram. Actually, the Instagram is basically the same as the Facebook. It has all the same photos.
Somebody in the chat said
entirely her and her children on her Facebook.
Somebody said in the chat she's been away from her ex for a very long time. So there might be people in the chat that actually know the situation. And if you do, if you would be kind, if anyone does know about this and any information that could be very helpful and stuff, where you want to set the record straight and we're saying something that's not right or whatever, please email us, tips@JLR Investigates. You can stay anonymous. You can speak on the record. We'd love to know more.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I said earlier. She had to have been with Sean for at least about a year and a half, because she was pregnant all of last year, and now the baby's 7 months old. So 9 months plus 7 months. She's definitely been with him for quite a while. And I have the same question that someone else posted in the chat. Like, why, if it was the ex-husband or whatever, why would he wait so long to do this? So,
well, Ali Oxenfree, nice to see you, says it's a clue the children were not harmed. And that is a clue. I mean, you know, a monster will do anything, but you would think, you know, the children were spared.
But none of them were taken either.
True.
And a lot of times in these cases, we see, you know, a lot of times what triggers, we've seen these Amber Alerts be triggered is because a mother's been killed and the child was taken. And the next thing you know, we have an Amber Alert. Like Jeremy Best, and there's another one, I can't think of the name right now, but a lot of times that's what we see is there's some sort of violence at the house and then they take off with the kids. So I think it's interesting, none of the kids were harmed or taken.
I wonder if the kids were the witnesses.
The kids were in the house, even though they're hiding in a closet. I'm sure the perpetrator had to know the kids were there. That's where they live. Where else would they have been?
Do you think the kids witnessed it or witnessed someone in the home? And they could be a witness, an actual witness? Like, seen?
I hope so, but
I mean, that would be like, imagine the kids being the star witness. You know what's even more crazy?
I think if they did see the person, then they would have told the police and we would have the name of a suspect by now. So I'm thinking that maybe they didn't see the person. And also it was 1:30 in the morning, so they would have been in their rooms, I'm sure, sleeping.
Well, I will say,
woken up by this.
Police lie all the time. They're allowed to lie. We're not allowed to lie to them, but they're allowed to lie to us. They have lied to the public. They don't have to tell the public the truth. So he could have said, we don't know, but no. They lie all the time and can legally get away with it. I mean, it's not morally right, but they do it. You know, so maybe they do know. I mean, to flat out say that there's no threat to the community is like, you know what's up. Like, but whoever did this is a threat because regardless if it was a domestic issue and they know it is, the person's running around loose unless they have the person. We just don't know already.
And desperate to get away.
Desperate to get away would put an animal, corner an animal and see what happens. They could be zeroing in. Whoever did this could hunker down and hold people hostages or, you know, do something to avoid capture.
Winky Dinker said they just read that Sean Lange actually worked at the Pentagon.
Well, there you go. I knew it was military. Pentagon, does that prohibit people from having social media accounts? The Pentagon?
I don't know, but I mean, I think with someone like that with a high-level security clearance,
I believe he also was a culinary.
Is probably careful. They're probably careful online.
I believe I also saw culinary in reference to him in the Army. I'm going to see if I can find his, here we go. I think I got his LinkedIn. Let me get it up here.
Yeah, he was a chef in the military, for people asking.
For some reason, this LinkedIn is not working right. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is him. I'm gonna share the LinkedIn. I'm gonna share who he is. So they must have been in a relationship for at least 2 years. You would say about 2 years, at least?
I think I would guess about 2 years.
So he comes into the play, plays the stepfather to the 3 oldest kids, right? Okay, so this is him. It says chef at U.S. Army, Washington, D.C., seeking a position with a winning organization by utilizing and expanding upon related skills, knowledge, and capabilities. Professional summary. Culinary and active military chef with secret security clearance. 6 years of proven experience in the United States Army, accomplished measurable results while leading teams of 15 culinary specialists in a dynamic, fast-paced environment, possesses a comprehensive background in training and management, hot food and kitchen equipment, operation derived from conducting domestic and global operations in the U.S. and South Korea, managed risk upon multiple lines to protect assets, property, and equipment valued at over $900,000 while meeting the expectations of senior leadership, possessed extensive knowledge in culinary arts, recipient of multiple rewards for outstanding performance and professionalism, career supported by association in science and culinary arts. So, it's a pretty good resume. And, we respect and we like our people in the military. 5 years, 11 months in the military.
These are two very accomplished people, especially for their ages. I mean, they're only 33 and 34, and you can see that both of them have achieved quite a bit in their life already. She's been working at doing her work for years and years.
It looks
even
like
has a master's degree in psychology. I mean, these are good, upstanding people. They're beloved in their community. I even heard them referred to as prominent figures in their community, which I would say is probably accurate because she was involved in so many different things in her community. The track team, her organization, her children's sports, just all kinds of things that she was involved in the community. So people are just blown away by this news. I can tell by all the posts on Facebook. People are just in complete shock.
It looks like he has Florida ties. South Florida. So maybe he lived at South Florida at one point. I mean, is this like a guy that's, or is this like a jealous ex of hers that's jealous of her being in a new relationship, breaking away from whatever she broke away from? He's in the picture. He's taking the role of stepfather. What?
I just found something.
What did you find?
Let me send it to you. I just found an old GoFundMe by her.
Okay. So
she so this is posted in 2019. No, 2018. This was posted in 2018. So listen to this. She says, I'm a domestic violence survivor. This past year has been the most difficult, heartbreaking, and challenging year of my life. From surviving the pain and anxiety caused by physical and emotional abuse, I can't even fully describe the range of emotions. Now to have my children's abusive father and his mother hide my children from me with no contact or information on where they're at. No contact means I have not heard from them, heard a location that they are at, and worse, I don't even know how they're doing. This is heartbreaking as I don't have the financial resources to properly fight against this. He's unstable mentally and already has reports of threatening family with a loaded weapon. Trying to go through the legal process has been, in both parts, daunting and frustrating to no avail. I hate to ask, but also know I need to have the strength to reach out to those who support me. I need to hire a lawyer to work on my behalf for the safe return of my children, the divorce process, and criminal charges that have now been made against me for posting about trying to locate my children. Any little bit will help. So she posted an update on January 17th, 2018, saying that she had reached 60% of her goal.
Okay, so
she was living in Bowie, Maryland at the time.
I didn't see any convictions on her jacket, but apparently she's claiming she got arrested for something dealing with her children or trying to get her children. I actually, while I'm on here, can you, Magnolia, go in the Frederick County court record search? Let's see if we can find this guy's name and just put it out there because I've listened to enough. I want to know what's happening here.
Well, Yeah, we can do that. The issue, though, is that we don't know actually where to look because she's moved around to different places. So she just moved to Frederick County this year.
Yes.
And before she was in Greenbelt and Bowie, like that post I just read, it had her living in Bowie, Maryland, which I think is...
oh, people said a name.
PG, I think that's PG County.
People said a name in the
So
chat.
yeah, we'd have to go through probably several different counties to look that up, but we can definitely find that information.
People have said a name in the chat.
What'd they say?
DT. DT. Do we have a DT in the
Oh,
house?
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
So we'll see what's on. Is again, we're just trying to find out what happened. Try to get the story here. Now everyone's saying it. Everyone sees it and they say it.
Well, I mean, after reading what we just read, she said this was back in, what did I say, 2018? So
Yeah.
that was, 2018 was 6 years ago.
See,
And she said specifically that he had threatened with a loaded gun.
yeah. And that name is affiliated with a prior address to her. Possibly Clarksburg, Maryland?
Oh, yeah, Clarksburg, I think, is where she lived most recently. And I think Clarksburg is in Montgomery County.
Well, go, can you go in the Montgomery County case record search right now? While we're talking? Or should we just do that on a subsequent live? I want to see a little bit about this guy. I'm going to see if I can make sure he's the actual guy. Somebody said Newark, Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
Newark, Delaware. So, I mean, does he live in Newark, Delaware now? Again, we're not, I don't think it's fair to just throw this guy out there like that, without. Okay, so they've actually had an address together. It looks like both lived in Newark, Delaware. Both lived in Newark, Delaware. Their voting registration, both Democrat Party, 2013 active voter record. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, so I found David Turner.
You would think that maybe even David Turner, would put something out to at least say, hey, help, or have comment about the situation if David Turner is the father of the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put something out there.
All right, so David Turner.
Is he on Facebook?
So I have some. Let's see. He has ties to Florida actually. Looks like he's been in Florida recently. He had a speeding ticket in Florida, Manatee County. Interesting. 2 days after she closed on her house, on April 4th, he had a speeding ticket. He has another one in 2022. Let's see if there's anything else in here.
And notice that she's 33, he's 45, so he's 12 years older. Interesting. Mr. Turner. In the 40s.
No,
Some people are saying it would make him a suspect by not putting on. People are conflicted about,
I thought he's 33.
It said to me 44. David Turner. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You know what? I got confused with the numeric portion of an address. Yeah, I got confused with the numeric portion of an address. My bad.
We have an assault second degree, June 24th, 2018.
Wonder what
Violated an ex parte order on April 18th, 2017.
So he's 34. Looks like 34 because born in 90.
Another violation of a protective order, August 24th, 2017. Another one, April 18th, 2017. Another assault second degree, December 21st, 2016.
Who's the assaultant?
Yes. So he's got a lot of he's got a lot of assault charges and violating protective orders.
So assuming the assault charges are on somebody domestic.
In that same time frame that she spoke about in the GoFundMe.
Oh man. So what state? Newark, Delaware.
Let's see.
I'm looking right now. I'm gonna see if I can pop up a mugshot. Let's see if I can get a mugshot.
The orders that I'm talking about, the violation of protective orders and the assault cases, all of those are listed in Maryland. Yeah, so it's PG County. It's Prince George's County.
What's his middle name?
Which is what?
What's his middle name?
Philip with two L's.
Okay. Now I'm looking. We're actually doing sleuthing while we're on the line. You guys are watching us sleuth in real time. Like, this is what me and Magnolia do all the time, you know? Now it's just at the point where it's like, I've heard enough. I mean, she's basically putting out a GoFundMe. There's always two sides of the story. But she's basically putting out, you know, in 18 that this incident happened, and it's around the same time that this guy's charged with sleuth.
Well, we had enough clues to kind of point us where to look. So,
do you have a picture? Can you find a picture, Magnolia? It's kind of hard for me to hold while I do this. We're gonna get a picture of the guy and just.
Well, I'll see if I can find anything on. Let's see.
We're gonna get some. We're gonna
see if this works.
I didn't see him in mugshots.com. Usually, when you see people got a record, go to mugshots.com and put them in, and then you can. 1111 says the police know who it is, they just don't know where he is. Are we talking someone that traveled across interstate lines to do this crime? If it's Mr. Turner or someone affiliated with him, I mean, Newark, Delaware is across state lines, right? Let's just see.
Yeah, but I mean, Delaware is super close.
It's close.
It's only like 3 hours away, really.
Well, here it is on the map. Just say, for instance, whoever the perpetrator is. I'm not saying who it is, but just say the perpetrator came from Newark, Delaware, to do this. You're talking down I-95. So 2 hours, 3 minutes from Newark to where this crime occurred. You come down I-95. Cameras all over the place there. I mean, basically, you got to go through some toll booths. Once you hit right here in 995, like Maryland, Delaware, and all those areas, it's tolls. So, yeah, of course, they could take Route 1, back road. If the person came from, you know, Newark. I'm not saying the person came from Newark. Could be somebody locally. Could be somebody that's in the area now. I'm just saying she had issues with someone originally from Newark, and her address was also connected to that name in Newark. Somebody said, is he black or white? I would assume based off the children, they had children together, he'd be black, right?
Yeah, but I think most likely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless they adopt, but I think they're biological children here. Yeah, nothing on Turner as far as I'm going back. I'm going all over her Instagram account.
Yeah, hang on a sec, because I'm trying to.
Now she posted in 2022 a photo from Florida. Now I know it came from Florida, USA. This was 2022. Now I know that the victim here, Mr. Lange, is originally from South Florida, so I'm wondering if she was down in Florida with him at the time. 2022. The timing would be about right, because I'm thinking this is June of 2022. I'm thinking she's been with Mr. Lange for about 2 years. If they got a 7-month-old child, the pregnancy, you know, the little bit being together before having a child, I would say at least 2 years, wouldn't you?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, that's
he's
why
from Florida. He's from South Florida. He's from South Florida.
But it's just crazy to me because she clearly was with Sean for quite some time and has a baby with him, bought a house. I mean, a lot of time has passed. So why in the world would this man decide to do this after all this time? I just think, what happened?
My speculation, if it's this type of, if it's because it's an ex, it's because stepfather coming in and trying to control the children. A stepfather coming in, new house, probably jealous. Child support, maybe.
Yeah.
You know? But if someone has a history of DV and assault on a female, and then now that same female gets murdered along with the man she's with, I'm like, eh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let me go back and see. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe that was the triggering event that he was living there and he didn't like that.
Maybe there was some court stuff that we don't know about recently in that county or somewhere else where the guy was prohibited from seeing his children or something, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some sort of domestic filings, child custody filings.
Well, clearly she was successful in her efforts from a few years ago when she wanted to get an attorney to help her get the children, because she has the children. Her Facebook looks like she's living a great life with her children, so it seems like she was successful, at least. So potentially during the course of that, maybe he was charged with things, or I mean, we know that he's got these charges and he's violated the protective orders multiple times. So
there's someone in that same house by the name of Dominique Turner that's a few years older than him. In that
which
same
house?
In the Newark, Delaware home. There's a Dominique.
Oh, probably his sister, yeah.
In Newark, Delaware, which is interesting. So, you know, it's this needs to be solved ASAP. If someone crossed over interstate lines to do this crime and go back over, then you might have jurisdictional issues too, right?
Yeah, but
you get extradited back.
The crime was here. Well, I say here in Frederick County, so that's where, you know, they'll have the jurisdiction. Yeah, Debbie said she thinks it's the jealous ex-husband. Yeah, so this area, so Frederick, Maryland is about 45 minutes from both DC and Baltimore. It makes like a triangle with DC and Baltimore.
Yeah, there's definitely surveillance all in that area. As a matter of fact, you probably have more surveillance and license plate readers than anywhere else in the country on that I-985 corridor from DC all the way, or really from Richmond all the way up to New York. Probably got more cameras and security on I-95 than anywhere in this country. Agree? Disagree? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they also have the cameras. A lot of those tolls also are the type that just kind of take the picture and you just keep going, you know?
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add, Magnolia? We're going to follow this case.
No, sure. But I'm pretty sure he has a Facebook account. I'm just having trouble getting to it for some reason, but when I did his background just now, I did get a link for a Facebook, but it's giving me trouble. I'm not able to
maybe
open
he
it
deletes it. You know, some of these criminals after the fact start hiding things.
No, it's not that. It's because I don't use Facebook, and every time I try to use Facebook, I get all these prompts to log in and do all this stuff. So you're probably going to have more luck finding the Facebook since that's your thing.
Yeah, definitely Facebook, I feel, is a tool when it comes to finding people. A lot of people post things about their lives or the connection of their families or whatnot, you know, going around sleuthing. You seeing who likes posts and everything like that, and you kind of takes you on a rabbit hole and takes you on other accounts and just takes you all around the place.
It's a very good OSINT tool.
Twitter actually tried to stop that. Do you know that? Twitter won't let people see the likes anymore on people's accounts. Yeah. Twitter won't let you see who likes someone's post anymore. Which is very more of a privacy.
Yeah, they did. They made the likes private.
Only you can see who liked your post, but outside people can't see who you liked your post anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a valuable tool. It's a valuable tool when you have Facebook or even Instagram, when people are liking your posts and stuff, to see who likes, because then you can navigate through the maze and try to connect the dots and see who's affiliated with who, who's connected with who, who's family members with who. You guys know what I'm talking about. Everyone has done that by sleuthing around on somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to keep the family in the prayers. We'll do a little bit of digging. And if anything else breaks on this case, we will definitely share with all of you. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I think we can expect, I have a feeling that there will be updates very soon. I just can't imagine that this will go on for very long without them identifying the suspect.
So her name is Crimea. I think earlier I said at one point Crimea, because actually it looks like Crimea, like the country, right? Crimea? It's Crimea. Crimea. So I want to make sure we get
I think it might be pronounced Crimea.
Crimea.
Well, I'm just getting that from the news broadcast. That's how they said it. But yeah.
Yeah, and so far, you know, there is different videos on it, but you know, I don't think anyone has done an extensive deep dive on this situation yet. So,
no,
you know, if you know anything or anyone, because I know people are probably, a lot of times we know when it's a fluid situation like this, people are connected that might know each or family members lurking or watching and stuff like that. Feel free to share, you know, or share with us anything that can help, or out the person, the person you think is responsible for this, you know. I mean, I know the family knows, man, what's up, you know, the people closest to her. They're probably biting their tongues. They really want to share what really they want to share, you know?
Yeah, well, they don't want to mess up the investigation either, you know? So it's smart. The way that they're handling it currently is just to kind of let the police do their work, you know? So they definitely don't want to be the cause of the investigation going sideways, you know?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Magnolia.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. So we're on this, folks. We'll give you updates if something breaks. And whoever did this, turn yourself in immediately. You have caused significant damage, everlasting damage, on children that had to witness this of their mother, and do what's right. And if you know who did this, don't harbor them, don't assist, don't help, because if you do, they will arrest you too. They will arrest you. If you help, enable someone, harbor someone, hide evidence for someone, conceal someone, you know, if whoever did this, you know, and you know who did this, if the person that did this calls you and asks you for help and assistance, don't take the bait. Don't take the bait, because you'll go down too. They'll find the person. Hopefully they turn themselves in. All right, JLR Investigates. We cover true crime 24/7, 365. Terrible tragedy. Sad. All right, folks, we'll talk soon. Have a good day, everyone. JLR Investigates.